So if you see here in UAE, uh, almost 80% we are expats
Mhm.
working here in UAE. So we are from different traditions, coming together, working in a very dynamic, diverse industry, coffee industry,
Mhm.
uh, and and it seems it is wonderful, very wonderful, how we are working together in a same motive to make coffee good. Uh, but there are some challenges. I think the
Mhm.
communication is the main thing we can see right now
Mm.
because we don't have the same dialect, right? So I talk in Nepali. I'm not good in English, so there is a gap. So you'll see this kind of difficulties working in the same company.
Mapper Forward is starting a monthly online video discussion group for serious people in the coffee industry for just $20 a month. If you're looking for a place to connect with other individuals and explore a wide variety of topics about the challenges and solutions needed to navigate the many layers of the coffee crisis, this is for you. This space is a new feature for our top tier patrons in our Patreon community. Who are the kinds of people who are already signed up to be a part of this group? Think of the people who are guests on this podcast, and that should give you an idea of the caliber of what to expect. This is not a panel discussion. This is a direct, open discussion group facilitated by me. A great place to network, a great place to explore ideas, a great place to come up with solutions. To join this supportive and engaging monthly online meetup, head to patreon.com/mapitforward and choose the $20 tier. For details, check the show notes. Welcome to the Mapper Forward Middle East podcast, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 3 of an awesome 5-part series with, I'm going to say it in a different order this time so we don't do it the way that we were doing it, on Purity and Ron. Guys, welcome to the 3rd episode of this series. We are talking about being a part of a multicultural coffee industry here in Dubai in this episode. These are 3 folks that have come from 3 different countries around the world, found a career in coffee in the Middle East, particularly here in Dubai, and it changed their life in ways that, they couldn't have predicted. And so what's really interesting about the coffee industry here in Dubai, guys, that's not really typical in very many other places, is that this is such a multicultural industry here, right? And we find people from lots of different cultures, but what we don't find here is like baristas from Australia, baristas from America. So I guess I'll start with you, Ron. Where do we find, like, who's in the coffee industry here? From what cultures are they from?
Everywhere. You'll see like UAE market. If you see here, sorry. So if you see here in UAE, uh, almost 80% we are expats
Mhm.
working here in UAE. So we are from different traditions, coming together, working in a very dynamic, diverse industry, coffee industry,
Mhm.
uh, and and it seems it is wonderful, very wonderful, how we are working together in a same motive to make coffee good. Uh, but there are some challenges. I think the
Mhm.
communication is the main thing we can see right now
Mm.
because we don't have the same dialect, right? So I talk in Nepali. I'm not good in English, so there is a gap. So you'll see this kind of difficulties working in the same company, but the motive is same. So yeah, and one thing is the opportunities that we have here in Middle East is immense, actually.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah,
Yeah. I want to make one correction to something that you said.
Yeah.
You said that your English is not very good. It's good enough to come on a podcast, my friend, so you're not correct. I just want to make sure that that's very, very clear.
Oh, I'm not talking only about me. It's like no idea. So, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like it's often difficult and disappointing going to a cafe and asking. So most people who work in cafes will understand the typical terms: cappuccino, latte, matcha, all of these things. But the moment that you ask something that's different than the
Yeah.
usual questions, that's when you really start to come to see that while the multiculturalism is really beautiful,
Yeah.
and can add a lot of color to our industry, right now, in the place that we are at in the development of our industry, that's still challenging to communicate and to understand each other. So I think in like 5 years from now, when people have been here for quite some time, that we're going to see a very different industry. People's English would have evolved. There would have been people who have been in companies for a lot longer. So I think we're going to see that evolve. But just right now, I think that the communication is a real barrier, you know? Is that an experience that you've had, Purity?
Oh
The
yeah,
communi-
100%. 100%. And the thing is, it is beautiful to be in a very diverse environment. It comes with its own benefits, but there's also some challenges to it. Because what I love most is there's stuff I didn't know. I didn't know Vietnamese make coffee differently. I didn't know about Arabic coffee. I didn't know about Turkish coffee. So working in this place, as Ran had said earlier, it has brought like the whole entire world in one place. Beautiful thing. And then you also get to learn other stuff aside from coffee. I'm Kenyan, so if I'm thinking of a workout, for example, it would come naturally cardio because we run.
You dancers. You guys are dancers and runners.
But now if you come into this environment, if I have, let's say, Asian colleagues like Indians and Nepalis, they're into yoga. So I have learned stuff. I have enjoyed different cuisines, just very mixed and diverse combination. So there is that diversity of food, there is religion. So you stop thinking that the way you know is the only way. So you really have that openness to accept there is your way, how you grew up, and there is also other ways how other people grew up. So in this place, you really have to be open-minded to understand your way is right and another person's way is also right. And sometimes the translation of that is lost through communication. So it can be challenging. And aside from that is in this place, there is no one way of communicating. How I will communicate to Ran will be different from how I would communicate to On. So you have to be flexible with your way of communication because it is not only the multicultural, is also there is the different ages because the age is also very diverse. So there is the multicultural and then there is the age difference. So you have to be very, in one word, you have to be someone with a very good people skill. So patience, you have to be empathetic, you have to have a very way of communicating clearly so that whatever you're trying to say is not misinterpreted.
Were you this articulate when you first came to Dubai?
I don't think my English has gotten better. If anything, I feel like the more you stay in Dubai, your English gets worse.
You start saying khalas and yalla and inshallah and
Coming, no coming.
coming, no coming.
I don't feel like your English gets better here. I just feel like you start speaking in a way that people get to understand what you're saying. So it might be a very polished, and I think you change depending on who you're talking to.
Right.
Your way of conversation changes depending on the audience.
So it sounds like because it's your awareness of
Yes.
the multiculturalism
Mhm.
and your empathy for making sure that people understand what you're saying, the responsibility is a lot more on you to make
Yeah.
sure that you're understood. Am I correct?
And I think it's such an important skill to have
Very much.
if you're a trainer, for example, because continuously you'll be training people from different walks of life. And sometimes English is not even the common language you can speak. So you have to find other ways like sign language or, how you move your body so they can get to understand what you're saying necessarily, even if they don't understand English.
We live in a culture, and I'm Arab. I'm from Australia, but my family are from Syria. Hospitality is something that we're taught from very young children. It's a very deep part of our culture. And from what I understand, it's a part of all the three cultures you guys come from. Hospitality is a very important part of that culture as well. So then we all come here to the Middle East and we work in the hospitality industry, but all of our hospitalities are different.
Yeah.
Is in Myanmar, is hospitality a big part of your culture?
Yeah.
Is it the same as Emirati hospitality?
Not really, I would say. Yeah.
And what was it like having to learn how to adapt to the hospitality that Raw is trying to put out there compared to the hospitality that you have in Myanmar?
Okay. So, talking about the hospitality in Myanmar,
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever get a chance to travel Myanmar, or whoever has traveled in Myanmar, like they're so in love with us, like Myanmar people, the smile and everything, because we're very like down to earth and we love to give, It's, the hospitality is now blood. Like I think it's not only Myanmar, most of this, Asian countries as well, I would say. And then when I just like came to Dubai out of nowhere, this happened. And then, yeah, I never thought I would have a culture shock. Yeah,
Really?
I never thought, because even back home in Myanmar, I left home since like 15, 16, because I went to university, which is not from my hometown.
Okay.
So, but still, like I got to connect like my people, from different places. And then I was like, okay, this is a different country and another stories, another same story. That's what I thought. And then I came here. I had no friends, like literally no friends. I just know Raw and Burj Khalifa. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Came here with a Raw, literally. And that time I was
And
like,
Burj Khalifa.
that's it. That's it. Yeah. And when I came here, like, Ron is the first one I got. Of course, Kim and our HR, but Ron is the first one who I got,
Acquainted with?
Yeah. So he helped me find some, rooms to stay and stuff like that. And then, he's the one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then, I started to stay alone. But I used to stay alone as well back home. But here is like super different, To be honest, like I went into some, like, I wouldn't say depression, but somehow this kind of like cycle.
It's loneliness, right? You get homesick.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I never thought, because I thought I was strong enough, Yeah. And like, so let's say like if it is my day off, I didn't know what to do, because I don't have any friends apart from people from Raw. And so that's the time I started to find for the right people, which is like people from Myanmar, let's say, my own country, so that you feel like home again. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing you gotta learn when you come here as well. And also when you're in the workplace as well, you gotta work with like people from different countries, different culture, and it is beautiful. But like from my experience, I would say you need to know how to calibrate yourself in this workplace.
That's a really beautiful way to put it. You have to calibrate yourself to the people that are around you.
I would say it's like you
It's
know,
a very
like
kind way to say what you're trying to say.
it's like you calibrating the coffee from different origins, you know, but you cannot calibrate other people.
You
need
have to calibrate yourself. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, and that's how you thrive, because you cannot please everyone as well at the same time. Even like as a barista, let's say you got a customer from all around the world as well, you know, and sometimes you miscommunicate as a part of a job somehow as a mistake. And that time I would say like you shouldn't take it like a personal, like too much into it.
Right.
Yeah, because you cannot please everyone, and also it's very subjective, coffee, you know, and it's a part of it, and it's where you grow. So that's beautiful and also very challenging working in a multicultural place.
I find it really interesting in our industry when we kind of put a whole bunch of people together and we say to them, you're going to do this really easy, in inverted commas, job. Just go and be a barista. Just go and be a roaster. And there's so much nuance to doing what we do in cafes and in roasteries. And there's so much communication that happens when you're on bar. It's a performance. You have to find a way to work together and anticipate, particularly when it gets busy. Like Raw gets very busy. And in those moments, the way that you have to communicate with each other is often not verbal. And even the non-verbal communication between different cultures is very different. How do you guys approach being sensitive and go through the process of learning how to have patience for the different cultures that you work with and making sure that you can quickly adapt? Because it sounds like the three of you are people who have learnt to make it your responsibility to be understood and to understand. It's challenging, but it is a very considered way to approach your jobs. What's that process like?
I feel like from my experience, it comes with how long you work in this industry, or rather around different cultures, because sometimes someone was trying to say something, but it's not actually what they meant. So having a lot of emotional intelligence, and it's a skill that you really have to learn. It is a skill you have to learn. And you have to be very careful around even how you use your body language.
Your hands, all of it.
Because sometimes, because we are very diverse in our team, we have many people from different walks of life. And if someone does this, it can come out very rude, like, wait.
Yeah.
But rather than doing that, this can trigger someone in a wrong way.
Yeah.
So with time, we try to talk through it. If an incident happens, I would always say, let's try to learn from it. I did this. I was trying to say, wait. So rather than doing this next time, it is much better for you to use the word wait. So I feel like you keep learning as time goes by, from my side.
As you say that, I've been thinking about the many different places I worked as a barista and kind of the culture inside the company, because there was multiculturalism in Australia. Not to the extent as in Dubai, but there is multiculturalism. And, the places where the leadership, not just the owners, but the leadership, really encouraged patience, encouraged communication, encouraged this kind of emotional intelligence, and invested the time to help the people who needed some help figuring out this emotional intelligence, these are the places that really thrived financially, as well as people wanted to stay working there.
Mhm.
But that
100%.
doesn't happen everywhere, does it? Especially here in Dubai, you see it so clearly. The second you walk into a cafe, you know when the people are not listened to by their leadership. Nobody pays attention. You can see they're badly paid, poorly paid. Nobody really cares about them. They're there just doing a job.
Mhm.
Am I right? You can see the difference between the two, right?
100%. I would agree with that.
Yeah. It's just a fascinating thing to think about, that when you work for somebody who actually wants to take care of you in the multiculturalism that you exist in and encourages you to do the same, it turns you into a different professional.
Mhm.
And Ron, you as somebody who is running a team,
Yes, I have a small team. Yes.
right? But you manage people, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so are they all the same culture?
So we are a team of four.
Mhm.
Four, yeah. And then one of the guys from Cameroon. So yes. So we have. So I faced the miscommunication. The communication issue is always with us in our
Okay.
team, because, and then it's once you, because I spend a lot of time with them, so we have our own language now. Yeah.
Ah,
So
nice.
it's like you don't have to talk. You don't have to do the sign language also. Yeah. So just have a look. So we'll understand each other very well. So I don't know. It's comes by natural. It's natural.
Yeah.
Comes by emotions, as we said. Uh, so yeah. So you'll make your own language, I would say. Uh, yeah.
Once you work together for a period of time.
Yeah.
In the next episode, we're going to talk about something very spicy, folks. We're going to talk about coffee competitions. We're all very excited about this next episode, so join us for that. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.